Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello and welcome to the Leveling Up Podcast with me, George Swift. The Leveling Up Podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation, but above all else to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Don't forget, subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Okay, so we are definitely in uncharted waters right now. We are definitely in uncertain times. And as the news keeps reminding us, it is unprecedented. And the truth of the matter is, none of us have gone through anything like this right now in business. We may have gone through similar things, similar crisis at an individual level, but never on the mass level that we are currently going through. And therefore, to some degree, we are all making it up as we go along. However, I said this the other day to my Success Group members and my Extreme Growth Mastermind members in our club. And I did say to them, look, you know, in times of crisis, when times are hardest, fall back onto your basics. Come back to the basics that have served you so well till now. You're going to have to pivot a little bit. You're going to have to flex into technology. You're going to have to change bits and pieces right now in order to stay in the game. However, don't rewrite the rule book. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Much of what you were doing was working before and it will continue to work. In this episode, I talk to my members specifically about going out there and selling. You can sell right now. I know many small business owners are challenged by this notion. Can I go out and sell right now? Will I be judged? Is it exploiting the current situation? Is it vulgar? I get this. You're a nice person and therefore you have these thoughts. However, as this episode is all about, it's about not fearing that judgment and getting out there and selling. And I talk you through the whole process basically of evaluating what you do, evaluate the value that you offer your clients, but I also get you into a mindset and hopefully give you permission to get out there and market, communicate what you're doing and go out there and continue to sell. Fall back on your basics. Sales is what grows business. It's also what maintains business. And right now, you need to be out there. You need to be looking for the opportunities. You need to be out there selling. But you probably do need to alter or at least be mindful of the climate, the culture out there. And that's not a bad thing. However, as I talk you through this content, it's not meant to stop you from doing what you're meant to do. Go and do what you do. Go and offer the value that you offer. Be mindful of the culture. Be mindful of the climate right now, but don't let it stop you being who you are. Without further ado, I'll get you into that content. I'll talk to you on the other side. Right now, here's the content that I've just put out to my group. Hi guys, I just wanted to drop you a message around some of the feelings that I'm picking up on from some of you guys, which is this feeling of like you want to go out there and market, you want to go out there and prospect, you want to go out there and do sales activity, but there's a part of you that feels like you might be judged. There's a part of you that feels like, you know, people might judge you for either exploiting the current situation or just not being sympathetic or compassionate to the current situation. And this is normal because you are good people and good people do tend to worry about what other people think of them. And I don't trust anyone that doesn't give a shit about what other people think of them. I'll be honest with you, right? I think that person is probably a psychopath. The point is to not worry too much about it. Does this make sense? Arnold Schwarzenegger said it really well, and I'm probably misquoting him, but he said, I deeply care what people think of me, just not enough to change who I am or what I'm doing, okay? And that kind of stuck with me, and whilst I might be misquoting him there, that's the language I use for myself now, which is, you know, I'm never going to be someone that doesn't give a shit about what people think about me. I'm never going to be someone that doesn't take certain things to heart, you know, criticism and judgments. I'm a people pleaser. I want people to like me. I want people to warm to me. I want people to like what I'm doing and to approve of me. And, it's about not allowing that to go too far where it alters you in some way, changes you from being you and changes your behaviors from what you know to be right for you. So I think it's really important to understand. Number one, I think, you're a fully functioning human being. It's normal to care about what people might think about you. It's important, I think it's important to understand it's normal. I think it's actually a healthy sign, okay, that you have a fully functioning working psychology, that you're thinking, right, if I do this, what are the ramifications of this? I think that's a healthy place to be. However, I don't want you to allow that to get in the way of who you're being and what you're doing. And I have another little mantra here, which is my own, and it goes like this, which is really simple, which is do what you need to do with the highest of intentions for everyone concerned, and then allow everyone else to have their own experience. Okay, so let me repeat that again. Do what you need to do for yourself with the highest of intentions for everyone else concerned, and then let everyone have their own experience. In other words, you cannot take responsibility for how other people are going to react or respond to you or what you're doing. Too many people pleasers like myself, we don't just want to please people. We take total and utter responsibility for how they feel about us or what we're doing or about our content or everything, right? That is not healthy, and therefore we have to start drawing those lines for ourselves, which is what do I take responsibility for and what do I not take responsibility for? So absolutely, I think every single one of us at any time in our lives should be doing what we need to do for ourselves, being on our own agenda. It's a big part of my messaging. But we have to do it with the understanding that it does impact other people. And therefore, we need to do what we're doing whilst it's for ourselves with the highest of intentions for everybody else. So in other words, I'm doing this for me. It's my agenda. It's what I need to do. But actually, I also am doing this because I think it's the right thing for everybody else concerned. So when we're talking about marketing in these times right now, or communicating our products, or even going out there and doing sales, then I think it's appropriate to be mindful and considerate of the current climate, the current situation, to be mindful that actually some people are really struggling, to be mindful that other people may judge you for either exploiting the current situation. And I think it's being mindful of those things, because if you're mindful of how you're going to be received, or your sales is going to be received, or your messaging, or your positioning, or your value proposition, how that's going to be received right now, given the current climate with, Corona and COVID, blah, 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 then of course, it's good then to reflect on how we may communicate that in a better way that more authentically and truthfully communicates my true intentions. So if your intentions is to go out there, or your intentions are to go out there and exploit the current situation, to go out there and to pry on people's fears, to go out there and manipulate people who are already fearful, terrified, scared, in uncertain times, and to use that to your advantage to somehow take money from them, get money from them, to create a sales opportunity that actually isn't there, to sell them a product that's not right for them, or not right for them at the right time. Does it make sense? All of that is inauthentic. All of that is dishonest. And it doesn't matter whether we're in a global crisis, a national crisis, or whether we're in the most booming positive economy ever. That is unacceptable for me in life, in business. It's unacceptable behavior. And I don't support it or condone it in any single way. What I've always condoned and supported, as you well know, is authentic, honest positioning of ourselves to people that we can help, we can support, we can add value to. Doesn't that be deep and meaningful? I always say this, you might be someone that, makes novelty dog turds, right? And it's not a deep and meaningful product or service, but what you're doing is selling that to people for, to give them a laugh, to entertain children, for fun, for play. It still has a reason for existing. You have a reason for existing. You have a purpose behind what it is you're doing, to bring joy, laughter, a little bit of stupidity, whatever it might be. Equally, you might be doing something that's going to solve people's financial issues in the current crisis. You may be doing something that's deep and meaningful rather than just meaningful, if that makes sense. I'm not grading these as one being better than the other. What I'm saying is both need to be meaningful, both need to serve a purpose, both need to be positioned and sold to the appropriate people at the appropriate time for the appropriate outcomes, right? And I think as long as you stay true to yourself, and as long as you stay true to your honesty and your authenticity, then you have to then allow everybody else to have their own experience off the back of that. If I go out there and pry on people's fears and pry on people's vulnerabilities, then I deserve to be judged harshly, and I deserve the ramifications of that may come back on me or my business. However, if I go out there and I authentically communicate what I'm offering to people that I can genuinely help, the same rules apply. I said this in the Success Group session just the other day. The same rules apply, which is people can either afford or not afford what you do. They either need or don't need what you're currently offering them, and they either will or won't buy from you. And that's the same rules in a negative economy or a crisis like this, or in a booming economy. The rules are the same. So it's really important, just to reiterate what I said there, it's really important that we understand that the rules are the same as they've always been. We have a product, we have an offering, we have a service, we have something of value to other people. And therefore, as long as we're honestly and authentically offering that and proposing that to the right people in the right way at the right time, then that's good business, right? It's good for us as business owners providing those services or products, but it's good for our potential prospects and clients to have those products available to them to purchase. Does this make sense? So for me, I think if you're reticent about selling, if you're reticent about going out there, you're scared of feeling like you're jumping on a bandwagon, or you sound like everybody else, or you're fearful that people are going to think that somehow you're trying to prosper out of other people's misery or out of a time when the world is in crisis, and et cetera, et cetera. I think come back to yourself and really reevaluate what it is you do, who you do it for, why you do it, why that's relevant. And this is a word that came out today out of our board meetings in our Success Group Plus Mastermind. And Louise said this word and just put this word relevant in there. And I just leapt on it and thought, yeah, what an awesome word, right? Relevant. That's the question right now. We have our value proposition that we have normally. We have our, positioning statements, and we have our communications, and we know how to sell what we sell and communicate the outcomes and the benefits of our products, and that in a good economy. Right now, that may not be relevant, right? But you still are relevant to the right people right now. But you need to ask yourself the question, which is, how am I relevant right now, given where my clients are right now? Where am I relevant? There's a great thing, Spiral Dynamics. I did a podcast on this not so long ago. And podcast is about communicating techniques and styles, about communicating with people at the level that they are at. So the example I used in the podcast just a month or 2 months ago was about, if you're dealing with a very sophisticated buyer, you communicate with that sophisticated buyer at a sophisticated level. But if you're dealing with someone that is just looking for a solution, looking for a problem to be solved, so they might not be a sophisticated buyer in the sense of, they understand the ins and outs of every technical aspect of a product. What they have is a problem that needs solving. You communicate with them at the level of that problem. Sarah Sangster does a lot of the marketing stuff for us in Success Groups and answers a lot of our members' questions, as you know. If you are in the groups, she said something very similar the other day, which is meet your clients where they're at. So if your client right now, you have to know your client base. If your clients right now are panicking, fearful, then you have to meet them at that level. It doesn't mean you have to be fearful and panic as well. You just meet them at that level and communicate at that level with them what you offer and what you serve. If your client base right now is not immediately panicking, but they're trepidous about the future, or they're nervous about the future, or what comes next after, once Corona has left town, and they're worried about that, then meet your clients at that level. If your clients are, booming right now because they happen to be in a service industry area, or they sell products which are absolutely in high demand right now, then again, meet them at that level. Don't meet a client that's booming right now with the same fear and trepidation that you might feel or other clients might feel, because that's not where they're at either. So I think as long as you have an appreciation for where your client base is, as long as you have an appreciation for, where people are generally, certainly in terms of your customer base and your prospect base, then communicate at that level where they're at. Ask yourself the question, how are you relevant to where they're at right now? It may be a different answer to what you had, just a month ago, and that's your communication. That's what you communicate. That's how you position yourself. That's your value that you offer people at the moment, the market, the industry at the moment. That's the value you offer people and individuals right now. And as long as you go out there authentically connected with that, selling in the right ways, which you should be doing anyway, to the right people, then you don't need to worry about what other people are thinking. You let them have their own experience. You know what you're doing is the right thing for the right reasons for everybody, including those clients that maybe can't afford you right now. Just let them know that you exist. Let them know that there is a solution to their problem. Letting them know that, that there is help available to them, even if they don't buy from you, even if they judge you in some, way because of whatever they're going through right now. You need to know that you're doing the right things for the right reasons. And as long as you can authentically tune into that, and you can authentically make your peace with yourself, truthfully make your peace, not con yourself, truthfully make your peace, that you have something here right now that's viable to the marketplace. You have something that can help the right people right now. And you connect with that, communicate that, and offer that in honest, authentic ways, which we should be, I keep repeating this, which we should be doing anyway. Then other people may judge you. Other people will judge you based on where they're at right now, on their disposition, on their their struggles, whatever it might be, right? They will judge you. Not everyone, right? And this is the important to remember. Not everyone will. Some people will judge you. As long as you go to bed at night and you can have a good night's sleep knowing that you're doing the right things for the right reason, you let them have their own experience. This is a message I put out there in all of life, right? And at any time in business. But right now, I think it's really important. If you're feeling like you're holding yourself back in your business from fear of judgment, if you feel like you're holding yourself back from doing the things that you need to do for you, but also maybe the things you want to do for other people, and you're holding back for the wrong reasons, in other words, the fear of judgment, then just put that sanity check in there. Why are they judge me? Who's going to judge me? Does it change how I communicate what I need to communicate in a way to really communicate the authentic, honest reasons why I'm making this phone call, or why I'm writing this email, or why I'm putting this advert out there, or putting this post out there, or this call to action out there? You may change how you word it, how you position it, based on an understanding, a compassionate understanding of the judgment that may be out there for you. That's not negative at all, but fearing people judging you for something that's not true and not real. And when that is the minority of people that may do that, you don't want to let that stuff get in the way of you doing the right things for all the right reasons. What that does is that stops you for all of the wrong reasons, okay? So I think this is a good lesson for any time of the year, of any time in the economy. I think it's really important now for all those really good-hearted, honest business owners out there, and service providers and product providers out there right now who desperately might be needing the business themselves, desperately might be struggling themselves, wanting to get out there and sell products, but holding themselves back right now because they feel wrong in some way, right? The first sale is always to yourself. I say this all the time. The first sale is to yourself. If you can't sell to yourself, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, I don't mean to manipulate yourself, sell, but to sell to yourself, if you can't buy into that it's the right thing for you right now to go out there and to sell your products, to market your products, communicate what you do, to make people aware and available of how you can serve them and help them through the current times. If you can't buy into that yourself, you're never going to be able to go out there and get other people to buy into that. Does this make sense? You're just going to hold yourself back. You're going to end up in that place of tension, that place of frustration. So you need to make your own peace. You need to find your own truth in all of this. You need to know that it's the right thing to do to find that answer to that question. How am I relevant right now to these people? What can I do to help, to serve, to remove their pains? The three things keep coming back to, every business owner out there, I think, every person out there needs to be focused on the three things, which is number one, damage limitation. Schooling our kids, for example, at home, it's not an ideal situation for the kids, probably. It's not an ideal situation for us, but it's the one we're in. So what do? You limit the damage, the damage to their prospects or their education. They might not be getting the same degree. They might be, by the way, but they might not be getting the same degree of education they would be if they were going to school right now. But you know what? By homeschooling the best you possibly can, you're limiting the damage to that education. Does this make sense? It's going to be short time anyway. Don't panic. Don't worry about that one. It's the same thing in business and everything else. Limit the damage right now. Maximize on the opportunities that are available to us right now. Just like the homeschooling, right? There are genuine opportunities somebody else in the board meetings this morning with Success Group Plus was talking about there's real opportunities to connect with their children, bond with their children, be part of their education. So again, it's maximizing the opportunities that are available there. In business, we might be talking about the fact that whilst the market may have shrunk by 50%, it might be half what it was, it might be a quarter of what it was, the market is still the market. There's still opportunity out there. And therefore, just like you would do in a good economy, in a bad economy, and in an absolute crisis right now, your job is to go out and find those opportunities and to maximize the opportunities that are available out there right now. And the third thing you want to be doing, I keep repeating this, the third thing you want to be doing is getting ready for when this passes, getting ready to get on the other side of this. We don't necessarily know 100% what's waiting for us. We don't know how we're going to go from where we are now in lockdown to, what it's going to look like when we start getting going again. Is it just going to go back to normal straight away? Probably not. There'll probably be like a staggered approach, the staged approach. So we don't know 100% yet. We have to work that out as we go. But it's about making sure that we're positioning ourselves ready to go. And a lot of what you can do right now with your sales activity, even if people aren't buying from you right now, if you're out there honestly, authentically connecting with people, and if you're out there making people aware of yourself and supporting people now and helping people, even these conversations that are like sales conversations, they should be consultative anyway. So, the chances are you're giving value right now for free as part of that, sales process, that marketing process. You're building great rapport and great relationships with people ready to get going on the other side. So even if you don't make many sales or even any sales right now, it's hard to imagine you wouldn't make any sales if you were out there actively selling, okay? I mean that. But even if you didn't make any sales or if you didn't make many sales, then you would still be building these incredible rapports and relationships. You'd have this awareness of where your clients are, your prospects are, so you know when they're going to be ready, and then you need to be ready for that as well. So that's the worst case scenario, right? For me personally, there are opportunities out there. Everyone I know in the group right now who is out there genuinely, proactively going out there marketing and selling right now, they are finding opportunities and many of them are landing business. It might not be to the same level they would have been. They may be taking a hit on terms of their pipelines, etc. But every one of them that's out there proactively marketing and selling, like properly, I don't mean just like a little bit here and there, properly focused on it like they would be in any other time of their business career or the economic situations, of life, right? If they're out there approaching sales in that same methodical way and their marketing communications in the same way, everyone I know that's doing that is finding opportunities out there right now. And that's number 2, right? Maximize the opportunities that are available to you right now. So there you go. Just to repeat that. Okay. Tony Robbins, I quite like his one. I'll be honest with you, I've taken that on for myself as well, which is I care deeply what other people think of me, just not enough to change who I am or what I'm doing. And my one, which is do what you need to do for yourself with the highest of intentions for everybody else involved, and let everybody else have their own experience. You cannot take responsibility for every single person's opinion of you, every person's judgments of you. You need to just know you're doing the right things for the right reasons. Go out there, be authentic, be honest. That doesn't change whether you're in a crisis or whether we're in a booming economy on the other side of this or a recession or whatever's coming. It doesn't change anything, okay? Be honest, be authentic, connect with the truth. Ask yourself that great question that came out of the group earlier today, which is, how am I relevant to my clients right now? How am I relevant to my prospects right now? Go out there, be authentic, be honest, be yourself, serve, help, contribute, do what you do best. And the prospects, the opportunities are out there, and let everyone else have their own experience. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next time. Hang in there, dig in. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was pertinent to where you are right now, and hopefully it gives you permission to get out there and sell what it is that you're doing in all of the right ways, the right thing for the right reasons. As I've already said on this podcast, if you're following this podcast, the content that I'm bringing you on this podcast right now is the content or some of the content that I'm making available and providing for my Success Group members and my Extreme Growth Mastermind members. During these difficult times, we are doubling down our support to our current members. And therefore, rather than creating content for marketing purposes or creating content for this podcast, what I'm doing is I'm focusing all my attention on creating content for my current members to support them through this challenging time. But I'm also mindful that many of you guys out there are in similar boats to my members, and therefore I'm making this content or some of this content available to you. Please do subscribe to this podcast, because there will be lots of more content coming your way, completely relevant to where we are as small business owners in this current corona crisis. So please do subscribe, follow me on social media as well. Don't forget, the usual links still apply. If you go to the descriptions of this podcast, you'll see some links to some resources that I think might be useful for you right now as well. The 6-figure fast track is how to get your business to 6 figures or more in the next 12 months or less. And whilst that might not be where your head's at the moment, the content that's in that is completely relevant right now in terms of building a model, or making sure you've got a model that delivers on your ambitions, making sure your day-to-day activities are the ones that are going to get you the results that you need right now. And we're also looking at mindset in there as well. Whilst it's focused on hitting 6 figures in 12 months, and right now you might be focused on just staying alive, staying afloat, that content has got lots of relevant information to you right now. If you're lacking a support group, if you really want that support, if you want to be part of a community that is working together to get through these times, please do drop us a line, check us out. Go to biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk and you can see about our success groups on there, and also our extreme growth masterminds. Everything right now, as you can imagine, is now being delivered online. So there's never been a better time for people to be a part of our community and what we're doing. If you want to know more about that, go to biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk, or you can contact Tracy Miller, my partner in business and in life, and talk to her about how we might be able to help you right now, and also, of course, how we can help you on the other side of this and get you absolutely smashing it in business. The other side is coming. There is life, there is business on the other side, and I'd love to be part of that journey with you. You can get in touch with Tracy at tracy.miller@biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk. Again, I'll put the link to her email in the descriptions as well. Hang in there, guys. We will get through this. Lots more content coming for you on this podcast, very specifically about what we maybe need to be thinking about right now in terms of preserving our business and then growing our business once we get to the other side. For many of you, there may be opportunities right now to continue to grow right now. You may be faced with opportunities that you didn't know existed right now. And for many people, this might be a tough time, but you may yet find it to be an exciting one. I'll see you next time. Until then, as always, be successful. But as I keep adding on these ones at the moment, also stay safe, stay healthy, and stay in the game.
Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.